of Nevada, the great silver state and the gold. New tales of Nevada, the stories, people working hard to make a home. Old tales of Nevada.
Hello everybody, welcome to Old Tales of Nevada, Past and Present. We have a great show in store for you today. We're going back in time and talk about Virginia City with some of the folks up there. So stay tuned, we'll be back with the whole story right after this.
You hear it all the time. Buy local, eat local, choose local, grow local, think local. But who the heck really is local? You can shop with locals here in the Nevada Marketplace, in the Reno Town Mall, home of the Buy Nevada First gift shop. We have all things made in Nevada and more. You can spot locally owned businesses where you see this window poster. We're giving them away for free. You can search for locals with our local business directory and free phone app at buynevadafirst.com. Because the business is either Nevada-based, locally owned, or it's not.
Well, finally, a new place to stay and play in the 67-room modern Victorian-style Silverland Inn and Suites in Virginia City. The Silverland gives you a chance to experience the rich history and beauty of Virginia City by day and night by offering a stay Sunday through Thursday in a standard room for just $79. Silverland Inn and Suites has it all. Heated pool, hot tub, great views. Book now by calling 847-4484. It's history at its best at the Silverland Inn and Suites in Virginia City.
Welcome everybody to Old Tales of Nevada, Past and Present. I'm John O'Brien, the host of the show. And with me as usual, our executive producer, my sidekick, and that's you, Roy Marshall. And you, Roy, welcome back.
Yeah.
Been a little while since we got together to do a new show, but here we are, summer started, and we're ready to roll.
Well, you're getting your walking feet up in Virginia City.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in just a minute. Our special guest today is Denny Dotson, and he's the executive director for the Virginia City Tourism Commission.
Correct. What a mouthful.
For short, it's VCTC. Okay. Denny, great to have you on the show.
Thank you, guys. Yeah. Been great to...
I don't know when the last time we had you on the show. I don't think you were by yourself. I think you had Ron Gallagher from the Fourth Ward School.
Might have been brought some protection last day.
That's right. But you've been on the job up there for how long now?
Just under 10 years.
It's hard to believe.
10 years in October.
That's amazing.
Time
we
flies.
first met when you first came on board.
I know it. It's been a wonderful experience. We've seen a lot of growth in the town and a lot of new things that are happening, and it's fun. It's fun to work with a lot of great people.
We're going to delve into all of that here in just a few moments, but I always go to you, Roy, because he is the one that told us to get this show started, and he had a reason for it, so we always let him tell us why we do the show.
You betcha. Well, we do this show primarily to bring pride to the people that live in the state of Nevada, because many people don't realize that after the Civil War, the U.S. was totally broke. And it was due to the Comstock miners' wealth that bailed out Abraham Lincoln for between $8 and $9 million, which he owed France, Germany, and England. If he wouldn't have paid them, we probably would be France, Germany, and England.
That's right.
That was the start of the United States. And the other great thing happened was the dollar was invented, which has become really a monetary unit all over the world, and made out of Comstock silver down at the Carson City Mint.
Right, which is now a museum down there. It's a great place to go. But Virginia City, one of the most important cities in the United States, technology-wise, all the gold and silver that came out of there. And that's our mission, right, is to bring history to the folks here in northern Nevada and help them develop pride in living here in Nevada, because if you have pride where you live, what do? You take better care of your place, your neighbors, and it all builds up to be a great thing.
Well, it's a wonderful state, and part of it is because it's mostly all public, and the tourists and people can go out there and camp darn near anywhere on BLM ground where it's available for 2 weeks at a time.
Yes, they do.
There in these states you can do that in. And there's a lot of ghost towns out there. And
absolutely.
Yeah, go to Ione.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Ione, Nevada.
Nevada's a great place to explore, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Denny, listen, let's talk about, just before we go there, the Silverland Inn and Suites down on East Street.
You bet.
Okay, 100 North East Street.
Yeah.
And guess what? They have new managers there.
Fantastic.
I being one.
Yeah, I know that.
And Jim Webster. We're co-managers. We took over in June 1st, and we're having a good time up there with the hotel. And that hotel is 65 rooms, modern facility, has a beautiful pool, hot tub. The views are tremendous, and where it sits is totally historical and huge, right?
Sure.
Right. What's under the ground?
A lot of places to walk your dog around there, too.
Yeah. What's underneath the ground? Right underneath that.
Well, the Big
hotel.
Bonanza was mined underneath the arena area.
Exactly.
And that was a major startup for, of course, Virginia City, but a major startup for the United States.
Yeah.
So we had people like Edison and Ford and all those guys would come out to Virginia City in the early days and get together there and see what the silver looked like.
Yeah.
Because it was a scientific discovery.
Sure.
And they seen, well, God, it also repels bacteria. You use it for a camera to make up film.
Yeah.
And here we are now, we're using, the state produces 34 million ounces a month, and we're overusing about 150 million ounces a year.
So one of the biggest workings was right there where the hotel sits.
Yep.
It's pretty amazing.
Virginia mine.
Every time I go in there, I think about that. You know, and then you have the Marshall Mint up there on C Street, and reestablished, reopened. Lucy and Lorraine are there to take care of you, and they have great, unusual stuff there. So
You betcha.
yeah. So anyway,
Come up to Virginia
come on
City.
up and stay overnight.
There you go.
Enjoy the experience, right,
Yeah,
Denny?
absolutely.
Yeah. Now, Denny has a big part of making that
That's
experience
exactly right.
a wonderful thing, right? With all the special events and everything.
We do that.
You started 10 years ago, but where did you start? I mean, you came into Virginia City 10 years ago, but that isn't what you did or where you resided.
I lived there for about 10 years.
Oh, you
prior
did?
To working for the county. And I was in sales and marketing for a bakery product. I worked for Earth Grains, Rainbow Bread, and Anheuser-Busch.
Oh, good.
At an account management level.
Okay.
And then it just opportunity became available, and kind of went to work for the county there a little bit. And then the tourism just kind of came with that. So I found myself selling a town versus selling a product.
Yeah.
Which is a lot funner, let me tell you.
Oh, for sure. For
Especially
sure.
one like Virginia City, where we are all about history.
Yeah.
That's right.
And then it didn't take long, a year or two, we kind of saw that the special events were really another way to drive traffic.
Yeah.
So we really secured all those major events we've had for many years in Virginia City, and we use it as a marketing tool.
Sure.
We control the brand, the messaging, the media, the vendors. Everybody knows where to go, where to ask questions. It's
Yeah.
kind of turned into even a one-stop shop for the events that we don't do. They just come to our office, and we help them do everything to make
Great.
it easy to bring people to Virginia City.
Yeah, people are telling us that. So you are you from Nevada, or are you a transplant like all
I've
of
been
us?
here 21 years, and I'm still considered a transplant. I think I'm still not quite a local.
You're getting
but,
there, you're getting
We're from
there.
Northern California.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been here since '86. That's when I first came to Nevada. So I'm getting pretty close to being a native, or regarded that way.
You're getting there. Yeah.
But Virginia City, as Jim and I are now up there on a regular basis, has got a real vibrance to it lately. It seems like a lot of people are there. I don't care if it's a Monday, Tuesday, or a weekend with a special event. It just seems like the boardwalk is full of people. And you had a lot to do with that, Now, let me ask you this, Denny. When people come up to Virginia City, what's their first inclination? What's their knowledge of the historical side of Virginia City? I know it says it's a national landmark, a historical landmark. What do you hear from visitors?
I would say, honestly, that most people that come to Virginia City are ill-informed.
Yeah.
They don't realize what we are, how we were started or established. They don't realize that we don't have franchises, we don't have neon lights, or that all of our architecture and all the colors and the fonts have to be the same as it was in the late 1800s.
Yeah.
And that was by design, and by that, being declared a large national landmark or land.
The largest national historic district.
Historic district.
Historic district in the United
Yeah.
States,
One of
right?
the largest.
Yeah. Even though it's a shadow of what it was.
Right.
When I drive up there because of the show and because of just some research that we've done about Virginia City, I drive up there and I go past the old diggings and the old workings, and I see the remnants, and my imagination just goes nuts because I've seen pictures of what it was. Right. And what the community was back in the day. And it was, 30,000 people at one time?
Yeah.
A little under, I think so.
A little under that. and just 200 stamp mills going all at the same time. And people, I don't even know if they know what a stamp mill is, but that was a big industrial site.
We know a lot of people in those days came by rail.
Yeah.
Or they had to come by stagecoach.
Stagecoach to start with.
Horseback. So the people that came by rail were usually the more wealthier group of people that had money to buy a train ticket.
And how much ore actually came out of Virginia City? Do you have that number?
Well, I think it was a little over $300 million. In that one period right there, and you know what that equates to is debatable, depending on the price of minerals or gold and silver right now. But you know it's in that $5 or $6 billion range. Just in that time frame. You know, and one of my favorite things when folks do come in, we encourage them to come to the visitor center first, so we can kind of give them their plan for the day and help them out on based on what they're interested in. One of my favorite little tidbits to tell, like you mentioned, the money is, when you follow the money that came out of Virginia City, it's kind of overwhelming.
Yeah. Some
of the facts that Hugh Roy just mentioned. And then I followed John Mackey and what he did and the contributions that he made. It just, the Wells Fargo Bank originally started there with the Bank of California. And it just, those little things and where the money went, the Hearst family.
Sutro,
you talk about the big castle there on the coast in California.
Yes.
It was built with the money out of Virginia City.
Sutro Bass,
San Francisco was built. And a lot of people don't realize all that really happened there and how much U.S. history was
started right there in Virginia City. A lot of the technology that's still used in mining today, like the square set timber, that still happens. That started there. Levi, right? The Levi company, and the
pants.
Like you're wearing today, right? All started right there. Out of necessity.
We also have to give the government a lot of credit for helping the area to start, because they really did do a lot of work to get Virginia City going. And their work that they did is still very pertinent today.
Absolutely.
Their geologic interpretation and their work is still very valuable, and a lot of them had to do it around the state in the stagecoach.
Well, what really is exciting for me as I'm up there recently and in the last couple of years is the focus is changing from, being known because of the Bonanza TV show. People still come up there looking for hosses and so on, but that's starting to fade, and the historical side is starting to be paid a lot more attention to. And the folks up in Virginia City, like yourself and others, are really putting forth the effort to bring it back and make it a real historical experience up there rather than just snow cones and hot dogs, right?
Absolutely. One thing that we are doing, and I've seen a nice growth, and it's a particular segment, is our arts and culture. And that's kind of tied into that nightlife, that hotel, that stay over. And we've seen Pipers, with the county took it over. We were able to do the same thing there, control the brand, get the marketing, messaging. And we're filling that thing up with the plays and the concerts and the weddings, venues. St. Mary's Art Center, another one that has just blossomed over the last couple of years.
It's great.
With the direction of their new director there, Erica Perry.
Let's take a break, and we'll come back and explore all those new happenings up there in Virginia City. So we're stepping back in time, but we're also going to talk about present. We're going to talk about the future too, on Old Tales in Nevada, past and present.
Everything is handpicked here at Precision Diamonds. All jewelry is handpicked here at Precision Diamonds.
Come to Precision Diamonds. I'll fix your jewelry just like new.
All of us at Shoeman's Custom Cycle are ready to get you and your Harley ready for the road. From oil and tire changes to high-performance engine upgrades and dyno tuning, we at Shoeman's have got you covered with experienced factory-certified mechanics and a full-service machine shop loaded with parts and accessories. Shoeman's Custom Cycle has been serving Northern Nevada since 1988, so ride on down to Shoeman's Custom Cycle at 275 East 4th Street in downtown Reno.
Shoeman's Custom Cycle, we're the biker's bike shop.
Hi, I'm Paula.
And I'm Dan. We're the producers of the Tanner's Marketplace Antiques and Craft Shows at the Livestock Event Center on Wells Avenue.
I'd also like to tell you about our everyday location. We're at Somewhere in Time on South Virginia Street. We're Antique Antiques, booth number 46.
You'll find paintings by Nevada artists, collectible glass, vintage jewelry, Native American jewelry and baskets, antiques and unusual to unique items.
Find it all at Antique Antiques inside Somewhere in Time at 1313 South Virginia Street.
Come see us.
Carpenter's Music World wants to help you unlock your musical potential with their annual used piano sales event. Carpenter's has a warehouse and showroom full of consigned, trade-in, freight damaged, and demo pianos with brand names like Yamaha, Steinway, Kawai, Schomer, and more. Prices starting as low as $599 for verticals and $1,500 for grands. Carpenter's Music World annual used piano sale, the inexpensive way to unlock your musical potential. Carpenter's Music World, 1090 Kitski Lane in Reno.
You hear it all the time. Buy local, eat local, choose local, grow local, think local. But who the heck really is local? You can shop with locals here in the Nevada Marketplace in the Reno Town Mall, home of the Buy Nevada First gift shop. We have all things made in Nevada and more. You can spot locally owned businesses where you see this window poster. We're giving them away for free. You can search for locals with our local business directory and free phone app at buynevadafirst.com. Because the business is either Nevada-based, locally owned, or it's not.
Welcome back to Old Tales of Nevada, past and present. We're talking with Denny Dotson, who is the executive director of the VCTC up there in Virginia City, and he's right above the visitor center. If you ever want to see him personally, it was just walk upstairs on that crooked staircase. That thing must be around for over 150 years, I think.
Not a lot of fun to bring furniture up, I'll tell you that.
I know. Yeah, they didn't make it for moving furniture and stuff, or pianos or anything like that. But you've been in that particular part of the town, or that office, for how long now?
Just under 10 years.
Yeah, because when I first met you, you were at the courthouse.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess I did start over there, but once we took over the visitor center, we remodeled. I guess you put in some offices upstairs.
Yeah.
It's worked out nice. It's nice spot to have.
You got a conference room, and you can meet folks up there. And so you're kind of there on the cutting edge of Virginia City. And so what kind of attention do you get nationally? Is there awareness? Because I find, talking with people in Reno, some people have never been up to Virginia City. No. And if they think about Virginia City, they have, like we mentioned earlier, not a whole bunch of knowledge about what happened up there. And if it wasn't for Virginia City, it wouldn't be Reno. Right. Reno supported that whole effort up there with cattle and vegetables and ice and you name it, because they had to support the mining operations. So I was wondering, outside of Nevada and the world, what kind of notoriety does Virginia City receive?
I think a lot of people, they don't know what we have there, but when we do get them, they're pleasantly surprised. We do work with Travel Nevada quite a bit, not necessarily on any advertising. We'll let them do a lot of that. What they do is they bring a lot of travel planners. Okay. They bring a lot of media from all over the world, and we help support that. Interview with folks that dress up in period costume. Or we cover meals, we cover hotel rooms for them as they come in, and they see the experience, and then they can take that back to their representative country or whatever part of the world they're from, and tell that story. So we do get a lot of return on investment by helping the larger travel industry. The bureau here in Nevada will be Travel Nevada. Help them.
Like on an average day, how many phone calls do you receive from outside the area requesting a story or visit or that kind of thing? I was just curious.
Just every day. Every day we get calls, and a lot of them are. We get a little over 1.2, 1.3 million visitors per year. In that, a good portion of them come to the visitor center first. But we also have the folks that are looking to plan. That maybe they'll call our marketing agency and get some information from them if they want some pictures, some photos. But also with today's social media, there's so much out there for them. We've got a brand new website. We're always up to date on the newest social media platform. Our Instagram followers, or people see that, and that's all over the world. They'll see those pictures, and it's other ones that, not just the ones that we take, but other people take too and share. And so we're able to portray a little bit what we really are about. And that does go.
So when they're calling, are they calling about the historical side, or are they calling because of special events, or are they calling, because it's, Why are they? What's their first question as they think about Virginia City?
We get all sorts of those type of calls, and a lot of them are like, "Hey, what's there to do in Virginia City?"
Yeah.
So we'll give them an option and say, "Hey, if you're here during this time frame, this is going on, or here, check our website. You can see where there's some places where to stay." We also have built-in itineraries, so people come in and say, "What do I want to do?" Well, here's some suggestions.
That's the way to do it.
Based on the time that you have, on your interests.
Yeah.
If they walk in the door, we like to suggest, just get on the trolley.
Yeah.
Because that's a great overview of the whole town. You're going to go by all the different little head frames. You're going to go by the train, the church, the mine tours, and then something perks your interest. You say, "Hey, I want to go back there and check that out." Then you can go back and plan your day based on what you're interested in or how much time you have.
Yeah. So they're not just calling because of the old Bonanza TV show, although that's probably still out there.
Honestly, not too much. Now, but then again, some of the European visitors that we do get, they're like, "Where's big Haas and Little Joe? Where are they at?" I say, "Well, not so much."
Not so much anymore.
But yeah.
Yeah, I know when we were up there in earlier years, just about the same time you started, we were doing some work with the hotel, and there were people from Australia and from New Zealand, and they were there because of the Bonanza show for one, but they just love the West. You know, they see the movies and the stories, and they just wanted to be there around that Western environment. And Virginia City has that, but it's more of a mining Western environment, which is even better, I think.
They call it industrial.
Industrial Western. Or Western industrial. Yeah, there you go. There you go. So you're in charge of all of the special events and tourism there. I was curious now, you have some really, outside the box type of special events like the outhouse race. It comes to mind just to name one. But how do you determine, first of all, what to do as a special event, and then how many special events can you support in a year, and what kind of process do you go through to come up with a special event?
Great question. We know, honestly, we take feedback very seriously. We put out surveys, information. We have a lot of open meetings with the public and workshops talking about how are we impacting the positively, what are we doing that's negative, we need to change, and at the end of each year. And then we take that and we really divide it up. We know that we have our signature events that we want to continue each year, like the outhouses, camel races. And then we look at some open slots, and we talk about, do we need to change anything? It seems like when you have the event the same every year, it kind of doesn't.
Yeah, you have to have a new wrinkle.
You kind of have to put a little wrinkle in it every year. People want to keep coming back.
Sure.
So that's been successful for us.
Yeah.
But we really welcome anybody that wants to come up and put in an event. We'll help them.
Okay.
And it just depends on what their marketing is, how large scale the event is, what type of street closures they're going to do. As far as what our support role will be, or maybe we just give someone a check to help with some marketing funds, or maybe we close a street, or we open up Pipers, or open up the new fairgrounds facility, or what have you. We're really flexible. There's not a cookie cutter process for anyone. Each event's so different.
Yeah. Well, they certainly are different. The outhouse race. Big success up there, right? Now, do you do two of those, one in the spring and one in the fall?
No,
or
just one, 2 days, though.
2 days.
First weekend in October.
Oh, October, okay. What's the one you do, the first one of the year? It's like April. What is that?
That would be the Rocky Mountain Oyster Fry.
Oh, the Oyster Fry. Yeah, I knew it was off the top.
St. Patrick's Day weekend.
Yeah.
Which has grown into an amazing event. From when we started, it was just a couple of cooks in one of the little lots, in the parking lots in town. And now, if the weather hits just right, and even if it doesn't, we still do well. But if it hits just right, it's usually about 7,000 or 8,000 people that come in just for that one meeting. It's amazing.
So how the heck did you get that idea? Who brought that to the table?
That wasn't me. That wasn't us. That's been around, I think we're in about 27 or 28 years on that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
wow.
And I believe that was some past county commissioner and the visitor bureau at the time.
No kidding.
Yeah, needed something that, what we do need the best, or need the most in Virginia City is events that are on the shoulder season.
Yeah.
So something that's in that early spring, weather, dependent.
Permitting.
And then, of course, in the fall.
Yeah.
Years ago, there wasn't the camel races or street vibrations or outhouse races. Those are all things that we've added, the city's added.
I guess the camel race is probably your oldest special event, right?
Yeah,
because it started in the movie days.
The 60th year this year.
Yeah, and it started with John Ford, who was up here doing a movie and wanted something fun to do with his people, the stars, and got some camels and had a race up there, right?
Well, sort of, yeah. I think it was in conjunction with the local editor at the Territorial Enterprise.
Yeah, yeah.
And I put a story out. And
Yeah.
I picked up the story in San Francisco, and the Chronicle goes,
Went nuts.
we can get one camel at the zoo. Let's bring it up and race. So it kind of started from something.
Now it's a worldwide known event.
It's done very well, and you know we add something fun to it every year, and it's a very fast-paced event, which is fun. It's always exciting, something new. We've added new elements to it, and a lot of fan participation.
Yeah, what's really cool is that your venue has changed. You have it in your new fairgrounds, which makes it really nice because of parking and different things like that, right?
For many years, we had it behind the Silverland
Right,
Hotel,
right behind the Silverland.
which was quirky and fun and very unique, and people loved that element.
Yeah.
But as we found out, our constriction, we were kind of constricted. We couldn't grow too much. You got a certain amount of people you could fit in there.
Yeah.
The handicap, small kids, children, vendors, equipment. Kind of getting down into the venue,
the pit,
was difficult. It was challenging, and securing that venue. But now we have about 13 acres.
Yeah,
the county purchased that out there, and it's the new Virginia City Fairgrounds.
That's great. It's actually sitting on a tailing, right?
It is. It's on mine tailings.
Yeah.
And, we've been developing that, and so it's just seen it continue to grow.
You keep adding amenities.
We've added more shows. We've added more entertainment.
Yeah, what do we have coming up just shortly? Well, not shortly, but it is a new event for you, or it's the second year or third year, and that's the rodeo up there,
It's it's the rodeo / Fiesta del Charro, which is a Hispanic spin to the rodeo, and it's been wonderful. We really pushed it last year, and we had a very unique experience with folks that we haven't done a very good job of welcoming in the past, and I think this last year we opened up that door. And we've seen a great response.
Yeah, well, here's the thing about Virginia City, as Uroy often mentions to us, is that the Mexican miner was the first one up there, right? The Mexican military was the first ones up there in Virginia City. Isn't that right?
Yeah, well, Mexicans by and large, and the Spaniards before them.
Oh, Spaniards.
Were the two major groups that came in the 1700s.
Yeah. So
and they had some mines north of Virginia City, and over Diggins is where the town was developed on top of.
Not too far from your house up there.
The first mine was right in front of the mint.
Right in front of the mint. Isn't that something? Wow, amazing. So anyway, the Hispanic community would definitely be a great one to market to, I would think, and having that kind of a rodeo, which is very unique from the American rodeo.
It is. It's got a little spin. There's some elements that are the same, obviously, but we also added a cattle drive through the middle of town. So it was a little. I had some folks kind of going,
"Wow,
what are you going to do? You're going to bring in longhorns down C Street?" I said, "Yeah, we are," and we did, and we controlled it pretty well. And it wasn't a problem. So
wide-eyed, not afraid. Let's take another break here on Old Tales of Nevada. We'll come back with Denny Dotson, talk about what's coming up in the near future and what we can look forward to in Virginia City and Story County, for another matter, right after we hear from a couple of our great sponsors on Old Tales of Nevada, past and present.
For over 30 years, the Book Gallery has been serving its customers with a wide selection of books, comics, and DVDs. They specialize in Western Americana, sci-fi, romance, and general fiction. Be sure to ask about their trade policy. 30 years and going strong, the Book Gallery, 1203 North Rock Boulevard in Sparks.
A proud sponsor of Old Tales of Nevada, past and present.
Boutique Elegante presents a beautiful collection of summer fashions for every occasion. A day at the lake, a tropical holiday, patio parties, or special dinners. You'll find the perfect ensemble, add jewelry and accessories, and you're set to go, all at Boutique Elegante. Boutique Elegante presents a beautiful collection of summer fashions for every occasion. A day at the lake, a tropical holiday, patio parties, or special dinners. You'll find the perfect ensemble, add jewelry and accessories, and you're set to go, all at Boutique Elegante.
All of us at Shoeman's Custom Cycle are ready to get you and your Harley ready for the road. From oil and tire changes to high-performance engine upgrades and dyno tuning, we at Shoeman's have got you covered with experienced factory-certified mechanics and a full-service machine shop loaded with parts and accessories. Shoeman's Custom Cycle has been serving Northern Nevada since 1988. So ride on down to Shoeman's Custom Cycle at 275 East 4th Street in downtown Reno.
Shoeman's Custom Cycle with a biker's bike shop.
Hello, California. Somewhere in Time in Reno is a huge store filled with trains and models, collectibles, art, antiques, and more, with pricing lower than anything you'll see in California. Come see it to believe it at Somewhere in Time in Reno.
Deluxe Travel, locally owned and operating since 1991, is the home for travel to Mexico and Central and South America. The crew at Deluxe Travel is bilingual, trustworthy, thorough, and caring. They will do everything possible to make your dream vacation the best it can be. Now is the time to book for winter travel, so stop by the office at 100 California Avenue or call 686-7000. You can also check us out on our website at deluxetravelLTD.com.
At Deluxe Travel, we sell dreams. Come in and plan yours.
We're back for our third segment here on Old Tales of Nevada, past and present. We always take time to introduce ourselves again. I'm John O'Brien, the host of the show. Roy Marshall, our executive director, and our special guest, Denny Dotson.
Yep.
Been up there about 10 years now and still kicking. Having fun up there with special events and tourism and making that town as important as it was back in the 1800s. That's the whole aim of it, right? And that's what we're trying to do as managers of the Silverland Inn and Suites. We want to bring more people up there and have that experience, especially the historical experience as they enjoy some of the special events. We might just mention, talking about a historical event, the 4th of July just passed.
Right.
And that is always a huge event, and I imagine this year was no different from any other year, right?
Yeah, it's wonderful, John. It's one of the unique locations where you actually can be somewhat close to the fireworks.
Yeah.
And then, not to mention, you're on the side of a mountain, obviously. So you get that echo. I mean, it's quite the boom. The show is like basically right in your face. And it's quite the experience.
Yeah, it's right outside the parking lot there on Silverland Inn and Suites. So
you see good from there.
We filled the place up, by the way.
Yeah, I bet.
The hotel was filled up, so it was a great success for the hotel. You know, so we look forward to doing more of those with you, Denny. So anyway, we were talking about special events. How big a deal is that for you to organize a special event, whether it be 4th of July, camel races? How far in advance do you have to work? And you can't be doing it all yourself. I mean, you have to have a lot of help to accomplish that, right?
It takes a full team. It really does. There's a lot more. We work on the special events year-round.
Yeah.
With some of our major events, we're actually selling tickets year-round. Like camel races, we're almost selling them year-round. Unless we change drastically the price structure or something, it's available to buy tickets. But it's a vital piece for us to bring in, is to make history fun, really.
Sure.
So I really try to make all of our special events have some type of a historical element to them, some type of spin on something that we did in our past, and to make history fun. Like I said, and then we do that with all the different walks of life, from different demographics, to kids to grandparents. There's something there for everybody.
And then I guess when you do a special event and it's not working out so well, perhaps you just let it go by the boards and you go back to the drawing board and find something else to fill that need, right?
Yeah, we struck out several times.
What are some of the ones that you tried that didn't work out so well?
One of them was the Americana Music Festival.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we came in probably guns and blazing, tried to add too much country, not really realizing that the Americana is a little bit different.
It's totally different.
So that was our mistake. But, and we tried to do some things in town, closing streets where they hadn't done that before. Now that's kind of a common thing. Because it was a mindset. And then which streets to close, which ones not to do, how it affects the merchants. Do we take a camel races down to the new arena? How do we get the fans back up in town afterwards? So all these little things are just stuff, we affect residential problems kind of come up a little bit depending on where the venue's at. Closing off the post office, access to the mail, fire department, emergency services. Yeah,
you have to think about all those things.
It's a lot of stuff to think about.
So how big a crew do you have to work with? You must have a core. Like
We do, yeah.
Yeah.
One thing we did, we reached out and we actually went through an RFP process and hired Liquid Blue Events. They do several large events here in Northern Nevada, like Riverfest.
Sure.
They do a boat show in Lake Tahoe and a couple softball tournaments at Sparks. But they do all of our signature events. Not all, but we also, we work with Hot August Nights. We work with Street Vibrations. We work with the Grand Prix. That comes up and does 1,000 riders.
Motorcycles.
Motorcycles.
It's a big job.
Huge.
Yeah, a lot of people are not very
Huge.
cheerful at times to do it.
Yeah, how many hours a day do you work, Denny?
Well, it depends. That there's a lot of more planning. So during the summertime, it's things are already pretty well set.
Okay.
But it's the off season. It's the fall. I start getting right after it. In the winter.
Get after it, yeah.
Is putting the numbers.
So how many people are sitting around the table giving you input on you critique your camel races, you critique your outhouse race. I mean, how many people, how many brains are sitting there and saying, Denny, we got to do this better or do that better? I mean, do you have a certain group that deals with it all the time, or you're bringing in different people all the time?
We've got 3 staff up in the office that sit in on all the meetings. With that, we bring in our marketing team, and then we have a special event team, Liquid Blue.
Yeah.
But we also discuss this in our monthly meetings with the commission, the Tourism Commission Board.
And take public comment.
So we take public comment, feedback. But I'll tell you, John, my door is always open.
Denny has been Austin doing pretty good. Is he working out?
That's a new city manager.
Yeah, welcome again. It's going to be a fresh start with Austin.
I know it's kind of probably hard on him a little bit to get started at it, but
I think it's going to be a great to work. A great transition. Pat Whitten's been wonderful.
He's a very nice fellow.
Been very supportive.
Yeah, and he's retiring.
Yeah. I think today is his last day. We have a little welcome.
County manager. Wow.
Yeah.
So you think about, just not to get too far off the subject, but Story County is doing pretty darn good as far as what's going on up there, not only within Virginia City with your efforts, but Lance Gilman over the TRI. Every time you turn around, he's got some big announcement about another big company coming in, and guess what?
Right.
That's all taxes that go to Story County, right?
And some of them are obviously deferred through different deals, but I always refer to, I think it might have been Lance's comment, there's been 2 big bonanzas. One in the 1800s, and there's one that's going on right now.
Absolutely.
With all that's going on with the technology out in the industrial
How exciting.
park.
How exciting. I heard a story, it was a while back, but they said that Story County could wind up being the richest county in the United States.
Very well could be.
It was the poorest in Nevada for many years.
It was, especially when the mining was going on. Yeah, I don't know if it was a county back in the day, right? Actually, Virginia City isn't really a city, right? It's part of the county.
It's a county.
There is no city.
There is no city.
It used to be, right? It used to be.
It's on the map though as a city.
It's on the map as a city, but it's not licensed or charted as a city. I don't know if people know that, so that's probably why you don't have a chamber of commerce and.
We've had them in the past.
Yeah.
But it's just each community in rural Nevada really has a chamber of commerce or a visitor bureau or an economic development piece that suits them.
Yeah.
And I think where we are right now, we've had the Merchants Association, we've had a chamber of commerce, and I would support that if they wanted to get back together.
Sure.
But right now we're kind of wearing a few hats, and it seems to be working as long as we continue to get communication with the merchants and the hotels.
Sure. What's probably really neat for you is because of TRI and because of the uptick of visitors to Virginia City is that you have more money to operate with. You can actually, put on an event and do it right, between your marketing campaigns and the actual, intricacies of the event, right?
Right. Yeah, John. We've seen our tourism budget, which isn't really, we don't get too much from the industrial park. A lot of it is a 1/4-cent sales tax, then we get lodging, transit lodging tax as well. And we've seen our budget come from 10 years ago, a little less than 500,000, to now we're about 1.5. So
that's cool.
We've grown that, but we've also taken on special events, and that's a big piece of that too.
Yeah.
But we've taken on that. We've taken on Pipers now, which that doesn't include. Pipers is another probably a couple hundred.
Yeah.
We've seen a growth. For sure.
Yeah. So you're out there amongst the every time there's a special event, you're right in the middle of that, right?
Again, my team does a lot of the work on the day of.
Yeah.
We've already pretty much planned everything and got the layout and the communication done. It's a chance for me to shake hands, maybe kiss a few babies, and talk on the TV a little bit.
There you go.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Well, you do a great job on interviews too. So when you're pretty well set with a lot of your different events, but what's on the drawing board that we can look forward to? Perhaps that would be apropos to Virginia City.
One of the biggest focuses is arts and culture right now for us. And we did take over Piper's, and we're really working on it. I went to a play a couple weeks ago, and I think is a great way to get folks up to go to dinner, to have some entertainment, to stay in the Silverland Hotel.
I'm all for that.
And that really translates into additional income for the whole thing.
It used to be pretty good in the town.
Yeah. The culture and arts. Yeah. Well, the Opera House. How many opera houses did they have in Virginia City?
Well,
At
that
least
one
two.
there's moved twice because they got burnt and they moved to a different location. But that was, they worked so hard back in the day, and they wanted to blow off some steam, so that was either go to the play or go to the bar, or maybe both. And it's a big piece. But I think a lot of people don't have that mindset right now, especially in northern Nevada. They say, hey, what are we going to do tonight?
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't think of Virginia City other than maybe a special event.
Right.
So we want to try and change that a little bit. And not necessarily take it away from that, but add it.
Add it, right. There should be an added value, just like the historical side, like what they're doing with Comstock Mining, with the Donovan Mill and all of that historical preservation down that end. That's another reason for people to be up there for a couple of days, So we're looking forward to all of that happening. Piper, why don't you have opera up there? I mean, it's an opera house after all.
We're working on it. And then the Red Dog is another one. Lauren and Supercell they've been there about 10 years.
Yeah.
And have brought that building back to life.
Absolutely.
And that brings a whole nightlife and a new different scene there that hasn't been around for a little while.
What people don't realize is that Red Dog was the originator of the hippie movement. Started right there.
Yeah.
Janis Joplin.
In Silver City, plenty wild.
Yeah, pretty wild.
Pretty wild.
All of the,
in the 60s.
And this is coming from Lauren, so I'm taking his word on it, but he said the actual hippie clothing, that type of dress, actually started right there at the Red Dog. Because originally was a Western motif, and then they started bringing in these bands from San Francisco. And so, these guys got high on LSD and they started dressing a little bit different. It turned out to be the hippie clothing. How about that?
Very well could have been.
See, I bet your audience didn't know that. There's so much history up there in Virginia City.
I learn something new every day.
There you go. You ask Lauren, ask him if that's true or not.
I'll tell you what, Danny, yours truly has made a discovery in Virginia City that will be all over the whole world within the next 40 days or so.
Yeah,
there'll be scientists from all over the world coming here.
Awesome.
Yeah. See, that's the whole thing about mining. It's
we found
exciting
large quantities of palladium, platinum, iridium, rhodium, and a lot of gold.
We're working with UNR in collaboration. He made a big donation for a special piece of equipment up there called a magnetometer, and UNR is going to be up there doing a survey to further verify what Roy is talking about there. Awesome. So anyway, we've got to take another break. We'll be back for our last segment of Old Tales in Nevada, past and present, right after this.
For over 30 years, the Book Gallery has been serving its customers with a wide selection of books, comics, and DVDs. They specialize in Western Americana, sci-fi, romance, and general fiction. Be sure to ask about their trade policy. 30 years and going strong, the Book Gallery, 1203 North Rock Boulevard in Sparks.
A proud sponsor of Old Tales in Nevada, past and present.
Everything is handpicked here at Precision Diamonds. All jewelry is handpicked here at Precision Diamonds.
Come to Precision Diamonds. I'll fix your jewelry just like new.
Well, finally, a new place to stay and play in the 67-room modern Victorian-style Silverland Inn and Suites in Virginia City. The Silverland gives you a chance to experience the rich history and beauty of Virginia City by day and night by offering a stay Sunday through Thursday in a standard room for just $79. Silverland Inn and Suites has it all. Heated pool, hot tub, great views. Book now by calling 847-4484. It's history at its best at the Silverland Inn and Suites in Virginia City.
Hello, California. Somewhere in Time in Reno is a huge store filled with trains and models, collectibles, art, antiques, and more, with pricing lower than anything you'll see in California. Come see it to believe it at Somewhere in Time in Reno. Carpenter's Music World wants to help you unlock your musical potential with their annual used piano sales event. Carpenter's has a warehouse and showroom full of consigned, trade-in, freight-damaged, and demo pianos with brand names like Yamaha, Steinway, Kawai, Schomer, and more. Prices starting as low as $599 for verticals and $1,500 for grands. Carpenter's Music World annual used piano sale, the inexpensive way to unlock your musical potential. Carpenter's Music World, 1090 Kitsky Lane in Reno.
Come to Precision Diamonds. I'll fix your jewelry just like new.
Somewhere in Time is the place to find what will be treasured for all time. It's a huge store filled with unusual coins, collectibles, art, antiques, and more. You might say they have everything under the sun, almost. See it to believe it at Somewhere in Time in Reno. We're back here for our last segment of Old Tales of Nevada, Past and Present. And I can always tell when the show is going well because I get to the last segment and I say, how the heck we get there so fast, you know? Denny, it's great to have you on the show.
Yeah,
and thanks for filling us in on everything that happened in the past and things that are happening now. And the future, we have a whole summer here to go. And the next big event is what? We're past the 4th of July. What
we
do we have to look
start getting into these
forward
car
to?
shows now, John. We have our own local club. We'll put a car show in and towards the tail end of July. And then we do, which has turned out just wonderful, is the kickoff for Hot August Nights. Here in Northern Nevada. We do the weekend before, on August 2nd and 3rd.
Okay.
And we come up, we close the street. We've got over 400 cars.
400.
We're already sold
Fantastic.
out for the cars.
That's amazing.
So we're really looking forward. That's really blossomed.
That's a great area.
A wonderful event.
Yeah, and that fits in so nicely with the history of the town.
Old cars, old town. It's a perfect match.
Gorgeous. Yeah, that's wonderful. Look forward to that too. Yeah. So we get past August, then we get into September, and that's where your huge event happens.
Yeah, we roll in that last part of August into September with a long, just about every weekend, major events from the new Fiesta del Charro, the cattle drive through the middle of town. We go to our Labor Day celebration with the battle-born, the Civil War battles.
Civil War, yes.
And the trains. Then we go to camel races, 60-year camel races.
Amazing.
Then we go right to, then we have the 100-mile endurance horse race. The Ferrari Hill Climb is back this year. Then we go into Street Vibrations at the last weekend of September. Then October, you start off with the outhouse races, 2 days, that first weekend. And then we have Thomas the Train is back up for the kids. Play on the train.
For the holiday.
And you go right into our
Christmas is a great season.
Our haunted. During the end of October, and then Roy, Christmas, which is near and dear to my heart. And we've been trying for a couple years to do something a little bit different for Christmas. So this year we're really there's so many wonderful little things that are going on that a lot of folks, maybe even myself, didn't realize that the community was doing. We really reached out to everybody. We've been having separate meetings to bring everything together, and we're gonna treat Christmas as take everything in one umbrella and market it as all these different things over 3 weekends that you can do. There'll be another play at Piper's. There'll be the Cowboys will be Comstock Cowboys will be doing a concert at Piper's. We'll have lighted parade. We're going to have a shopping element for our merchants. We're going to have all of our nonprofits will be involved in a fun way to meet Santa Claus. We're going to have sleigh rides in town.
That's huge.
So we're going to have all these things going on that I think will bring in under one umbrella. And so look for some information to come up.
I've been up in Virginia City when it has snowed, and with the way those street lights are,
it's beautiful.
It's just absolutely enchanting to be up there.
Romantic.
In the evening. It's romantic. Absolutely romantic. And just the drive up there, with those, what are those, pinyon pines? Is that what they are? With that snow hanging off of them like that. Man, I mean, you can't get any prettier than that. And that's how far from town? How far from Reno to Virginia? 20 miles?
Yeah, half an hour.
Half an hour.
One of the misnomers, John, is that people think, oh, you got that grade at Virginia City? Oh, that's scary. We have one of the best NDOT maintenance crew and Story County Public Works crews where sometimes you can't get out of your neighborhood here in Reno.
Yeah.
But that highway, it's all they're dedicated just on that one road.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
great in the
Yeah,
wintertime.
and then I always tell them alternatively, just get on 395, which is a very quick trip down to Carson now because of the highway there, and just go 50 to towards Dayton and take the cutoff, and
Take
it's
the truck
very
right back
easy,
up.
Yeah.
very easy ride. I sometimes do that. It takes about, I don't know, 10 minutes longer to get there, but if you're afraid of that road on Geiger,
But yeah,
don't worry about it.
They do a wonderful job. The
Yeah,
roads-
actually,
the roads
there's
are
3
great.
ways to get to Virginia City. 6 Mile Canyon comes out of Dayton as well, right?
Yep.
So that's great. That's great. So you're just doing a great job up there, Denny, and we're happy to be back up there.
We're looking forward to working
plugging
with
away.
you guys. Yeah, there's so much opportunity for packages, whether it's with an event or just a concert overnight in town. So we're really looking forward to
Well, that's what
working
we're looking forward to is doing something special where people can go to Piper's or take in a special event, come back to the hotel. We have a bar now. We're working with some restaurants. We have some restaurants that are very close to us that could actually act as our kitchen, and people could eat at the hotel, be served at the hotel, but the kitchen would actually be a block away, you know, and the food would come in fresh and hot, and
Be a great option.
and it'd be a great option for us as well. So we're working hard to build that hotel into a destination as well, you know. So we just have to all work together up there, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Persistence is what we need, and more guys your age than the older ones. Some of them are getting a little old up there.
You know what?
We got a great crew.
You know what I'd like to see up there is some kind of mining special event. I know you've tried one before.
We have had one, and we've
Yeah.
had some activities, and we still do the single jack mining competition.
Oh, okay.
And we had earlier this year, we hosted for UNR. We hosted the international mining competition.
How did that go?
It was so unique, so wonderful.
yeah.
The weather wasn't the best,
Yeah.
but they really didn't care. We had about 200 collegiate athletes that came up from all over the world.
Yeah.
That came and competed in about 7 or 8 different events.
Wonderful.
And it was wonderful in
Yeah.
the setting, in that backdrop of Virginia City, and
Perfect.
It was perfect. We
Yeah.
just couldn't have enjoyed it
Yeah,
more.
I would like to see that. I would like
it
to
would have
see
been
some of those mining activities
Yeah.
that they did underground. You know, have somebody demonstrate that or some
We
competition.
did it out in Ione for years. We'd have
Did you?
it
Yeah.
for Ione
Yeah.
days. We'd have a
Maybe you could do log rolling along with it, you know, something of that nature. Because lumberjacks were huge for Virginia City. All that
Tahoe,
timber
yeah.
had to come out of Tahoe.
yeah. Yep.
Somebody had to cut it, right?
Absolutely.
And they came down through the
Through the flumes, yeah.
the flumes all the way from Tahoe. That must have been quite a feat to do that. I still look for the remnants of it, but I don't see it. But that used to come right down by the museum, by the Railroad Museum. That's where they used to end, and then they'd haul it by train up to Virginia City. That was quite the story to hear that. So anyway, I'd like to see if we could ever do something like that. That would be fun. We'd give you the parking lot to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So great things happening up there. Some changes in government. Transportation is always a concern for people that we bring to the hotel, for example, because many of our visitors are 40 plus. Some of them aren't very healthy or have knee problems, and to walk from the hotel up to C Street is quite the chore.
Right.
So what's the county working on for that?
We do reach out, and we have a local company in town that we hire for special events. We hire him separately than his normal business, which is the guided trolley ride.
Yeah.
And then in the last couple of years, we've also reached out to the school district.
Oh.
And actually leased out their buses, and their bus drivers hired
Great idea.
to move the big crowds back and forth from some of the venues, the bigger venues like
Okay.
special events like camel races.
Oh, that'd be great.
or
But on a
rodeo.
day-to-day basis, we really don't have anybody up there at this moment
Not
that
now.
does
We've
it.
had a few people come with the golf carts and come people that they've come up with some tours, but it's not anything that's consistent for sure.
Okay, yeah. The sheriff would like to see something like that done.
Yeah.
He said he has worked with the state, he told me. And anybody who wants to do something like that, he has kind of, paved the way paperwork-wise so that it could be done rather easily. So if anybody's an entrepreneur out there and wants to come out and work in Virginia City, there is a place to go and they'll help you get it done.
Sure.
That's what I'm finding that's different from maybe 10 years ago, is that the community is more tied together in that effort to make it successful. Do you feel that?
Yeah, I think so. I think everybody wants to see the right type of growth.
Right.
We want to protect what we have.
Right.
And, our history is imperative, but we also not afraid to change a little bit.
Yeah.
But yes, transportation is always something that we're trying to do better.
Yeah.
Trying to help on or improve. We've added some new parking lots in town.
Yes.
That's really helped, especially the bigger one up by the courthouse. And there's been a couple of attractions that we've lost over the couple of years, like a stagecoach ride or a covered wagon, if you would. Trolley ride, but we're working with some people trying to get them back.
If anybody has a creative idea, man, I'll tell you that Virginia City is a great place to get it started.
Give me a call and we'll help you out.
Now, what's happening with the Delta? Had the big explosion up there. And I see construction, but I don't know what their ultimate plans are for that.
Right. Our hope, and I believe the owner's hope too, is to get that grill back up to life. To bring it back as beautiful as it was. And as soon as they can. But there is that. I always tell people that we did rebuild Virginia City in a little less than a year in 1875.
Right.
But you didn't have attorneys, and you didn't have insurance companies, and you didn't have OSHA, and you didn't have all this building code that we have now. So. They have quite a process ahead of them to get that point to rebuild, but they're working as fast as they can.
And gaming there is some gaming in town still. Buses used to come up to the Delta all the time, right?
Yeah.
So I don't see that happening any.
You've got a few slots between the Bucket of Blood and the Mark Twain, and that's kind of about it. But we've seen that shift also over the last 7 or 8 years. That gaming isn't the top.
Isn't the reason they're there.
And neither is one building. We love the Delta, but and we want to see it come back. But any one building doesn't make Virginia City.
Right.
It's the whole town. It's the experience. It's everything together.
Yeah. I know some of the buildings up there actually have plaques, signage telling people what the original intent was for that building, what happened there. Like Clements was at the Territorial newspaper. You can see that. But is it on every building? I can't recall.
Not every building. I think it depends on the private property owner.
Yeah.
We've also put out some interpretive signs throughout town on special, especially on equipment.
Yeah.
That is this a little stamp box, or is it a band of cable, or is it a battery box? What is that? What is that?
Yeah. Because that's the questions I have.
What is this big block of granite with the holes in it? What is that?
What happened there? Yeah.
So we made some interpretive signs a few years ago.
Now, if people want to find out a lot more about Virginia City, more than what we talked about, what's the website?
Visit virginiacitynv.com.
Okay.
Has everything and links to go out from there. So
And is there a number they can call to talk to you or any of your staff in case they do have a creative idea?
Area code is 775. It's 847-7500.
Okay, that's easy.
That's our main line at the visitor center, 7500. You can call there and we'll get your questions answered or put you in the right direction.
All right, Denny, thanks so much for being with us today. It's been wonderful to find out and get an update on what's going on in that town. Stepping back in time is a great logo for that, slogan for that.
That was good, yeah.
Yeah, it is good. So keep up the good work. We're going to try to support you over at the Silverland Inn and Suites. And we, in the meantime, want to thank our audience for being with us for another great episode of Old Tales of Nevada, Past and Present. And for Denny and for you, Roy, and myself, we'd like to say have a great Nevada day, and we'll see you next week for another episode of Old Tales of Nevada, Past and Present.
Under blue Nevada sky, with a hot sun in his eye, Hugh Roy walked the Elk and Wild Horse Trail.